Hey guys, join me through the process of drafting and sewing this lovely two-piece set. Now, the very important thing of this two-piece set is that you can rock either of the two independently. You can rock the top with your trouser of your choice or the skirt of your choice. Likewise, the skirt, you can rock it independently with a top of your choice. You can see how defined the neckline is. It's actually a crop top and a flare gathered skirt having side pockets. Now, let's dive into the tutorial. So sorry about that noise, my dog. Please, I'm gonna have to fold my fabric into two. Then I'll be folding again into four because of my zipper allowance at the back. And I've also gone ahead to take my horizontal measurement. Okay, as you can see, the shoulder to chest line, shoulder to underbust, and of course waist and hemming allowance. Now I've gone ahead to input my measurements to divided by 4 plus 1.5 seam allowance. Okay. Now for the neckline, I have gone ahead to take 4 inches by 5 inches depending on your preference. Okay, then from the 5 inches I came up by 2 inches. I've gone ahead to drop my shoulder slope by 1 inch. I've married it to the shoulder. I've taken the mid of the arm side. Okay, very very important, please. I'll come in by half an inch. So I'll be using my French cuff to cuff the arm side like so. Now for the purpose of the front, remember we came in by 0.5 inch, that's half an inch. But for the back, we're going to be leaving it like that. Okay, now I told you I came down from the neckline by 5 inches. I came up by 2 inches, so we're going to be having that's 3 inches, as you can see. Okay, so now this is time for you to do your design. Now it depends on your preference. Okay, so I've just gone ahead to mark 2 inches. Okay, I'll cover it like so. I'll take it like that. Okay, I got the midpoint of 2 inches. That's actually what 1 inch. So I'll marry the lines to join the midpoints. Okay, from here to the midpoint, from here to the midpoint, if that makes sense to you. Okay, I'll do same for here to the midpoints, from here to the midpoint. I told you it's 4 inches. Okay, and now you have 2 inches. Dividing in 2 inches for the midpoint, that's 1 inch. So that's what I did here. If you don't understand, let me know in the comment section, but when you watch the video again, you're going to understand. So I'm going ahead to cut now. Remember I told you about the front arm side. We'll cut for the back first before cutting for the front, so that we don't end up cutting the back and front together. Now as you can see, we're cutting the arm side for the back first. The full length of this crop top is actually 19 inches, but it depends on your client. It depends on who you're making it for, okay? So now I'll go ahead and cut where I made this design. Be sure to do it at your pace. There's not much of a task. Be sure to do it at your pace and cut gently in order for you not to go and cut above the design, okay? I'll do same for the other side as well. I'll follow the map outlines, then I'll cut, okay? I'm just taking my time to show you how I'm cutting. If not, I'm not supposed to do this, but I've done that for you. That place that is like that is for the zipper allowance, okay? That's the back, like we said earlier, okay? Like I earlier said. So now I've separated the back from the front and I've gone ahead to cut the lining for it, okay? I've gone ahead to cut the lining for it. Don't mind, mama. I was actually seeing a movie while walking. Okay, so This is basically it. Now, for this other part, you can just put a fusible interface where you have the zigzag. Now, for the down part, I'll go ahead and cut half circle flare for the front and for the back. I just folded this fabric like so into two. Then I'll be dividing the waist measurement by 3.14. Why? Because it's an half circle flare, okay? It's not a full circle flare. So now, remember I said it's a flare gathered skirt. Where you want your flare to be is depending on your preference. You could do it above your knee or below your knee, okay? I've done this on how to cut a circle flare on my channel before. I'm going to be linking it. So now I'm dividing the waist measurement by 3.14. What I have, I'm going to be imputing it, okay? I'll impute it, and of course I'll take the length of the flare. Like I told you, you could make it be above or below your knee. Then you start your gathers from there, depending on your preference. Okay, hope I'm understood. I'm taking the length as well. To my subscribers, you rock. If you're new in this channel, you're welcome. Kindly like, share, and subscribe. So I've gone ahead now. I'm using my curve and my pattern master to curve it like so. I'll replicate same for here. Now I'll go ahead and cut. I'll be cutting the second one. I will use this first one to cut the second one. Remember I said this is an half circle flare and we need the two sides complete. So this is for the front. I'll go ahead and cut for the back. This is what it looks like, okay? So I'll cut for the back as well. So I've gone ahead to cut for the back. Now what I have on the flare, I will measure it as you can see, and I'll multiply it by 4. That's 2 for the front and 2 for the back. Then I will now get the full length of the skirt from where I have my circle flare, okay? I will now get the full length. If maybe your circle flare is 20 and you want your full length to be 30, you'll be cutting 11 inches so that you can use the other inch to join to the circle flare. I don't know if that makes sense to you, okay? As well cut the waist of the skirt as well. So now this is for the purpose of the gathered. The gathered is by 4, 2 for front, 2 for the back. Okay, multiplying the circumference times 4. So this is basically it. Now for the sleeve, I didn't want to just go ahead and disturbing myself. This is another alteration. This is my basic, but this pattern I want it to be a bit curved, so I had to tilt it. I had to alterate it like this. It's very easy. Now the wideness depends on your preference. If you want it very wide, you can as well extend the fabric to get more fabric, but I didn't want it to be extremely wide, so I also alternate it like this. I'll go ahead and cut. I'll cut for both sleeves, okay? Then I'll use it to cut for the lining as well. As you can see, it's already forming the shape. Now this is a tricky way of doing this, okay? It works for me. Do what works for you. So I'll go ahead and cut the lining like I said earlier. I'll go ahead and cut the line. I've cut the band as well. The waistband 5 inches by the waist circumference. I've gone ahead to cut the pockets, the side pockets. Okay. I've done that in my channel before. It's not much of a task. Now this is the front. Now this is the zip we're going to be using. Now let's dive into the sewing part. Like I said, I'm just showing you all the piece, okay? Now we're going to be starting by joining the front and back together, their shoulders together, okay, for the main fashion fabric. After joining the shoulders together, we replicate same for the lining as well. You can see we've done this. Replicate same for the lining. And after which we're going to be using the lining to turn, as you can see. I'm going to head to secure a pin and I'll turn, leaving the zipper area because I want to make the zipper area an invisible way. In other words, sorry to say, in other words, it's going to be very neat both in the front and at the back. You're not going to be seeing the allowance sticking out, okay? I'm going to be doing it inwardly. So now be sure to do this at your pace. You can add hairstay or paper stay to this place in order for it to come out well. Be sure to give it a good press when you're done. Now I'm going to be fixing the zipper. Okay. After fixing the zipper, I'm going to be using the lining to turn it so that it's going to come out very nice. Okay. You see how I'm opening it like so? Now I'm just sewing it on the fashion fabric. Now take note of the allowance you give for zip, not to in order not to exceed it, okay? So watch closely. What I'm going to be doing next, now I'll be cutting the excess, then I'll be flipping it over like so to overlay or cover it like so, then I'll stitch down. Okay, after stitching down, I am going to be cutting the excesses. Look, you can see how beautiful it is. The seams are actually embedded inside. They are not showing. I'll do for the other parts as well. What I did for this other side, I'll replicate it as you can see. I'm using my zipper foot. So after which I'll use the lining again to turn like I did for the first side. And it's going to come out so neat and beautiful. I'm actually stitching the full length of the top, okay? I'm stitching it inwardly as well. I'll cut out the excesses. After which I'm going to be turning. You can see how beautiful it is. The seam are hidden inside. This is the front, this is the back, okay? So the next thing I'm going to be doing now, I'm going to be attaching the sleeve. I didn't use lining for it, I'll just do it like so, okay? Because I haven't got lining for it. You all know how to attach a sleeve, it's not much of a task. Alright, you pin the midpoint of the sleeve to your shoulder slope area, then sew around your arm side, okay? So I'm done with that. What I did for here, I'll replicate for the other side, and I'll also hem after hemming, I'm going to be using my elastic, okay? Now the elastic is optional. I had to speak with my client and she said she doesn't want the elastic, so I just had to do away with the elastic. I'll just be hemming like that, okay? Then I'll just shaping by 1 inch. Now note you're not shaping to the exact shape since it's a crop top, okay? I just took 1 inch from the side to shape. You're not shaping the waist, you're not shaping the underbust, it's a crop top, okay? So I'm basically done with this. Just to go and give it a good press. The next thing we're going to be doing the skirt part. Now this is the first area of the skirt. As you can see, I've gone ahead to serge all the edges. Now we are going to be pleating like so. We'll be pleating the lower part to that's the guided area to the circle flare. As you can see, I've gone ahead to search the edge as well so that it's going to come out neat. I don't like rough work, okay? So I'll serge it like so. I'll pleat it like so on it, okay? Now the pleating depends on your preference. To my subscribers, you guys rock. Thanks for being with me and compliments of the season as well. So I'm done with this. What I do for this, I'll replicate for the other side. Remember, it's two feet. We have to cut two half flare, half circle flare. So I'm done with one. I'll go and do for the other one. We're going to be using a side zip this time, not the back zip. This is for the waist, okay? So I've gone ahead to cut 5 inches. I interfaced it and I folded into two, okay? When you fold 5 inches into two, you actually get 2.5. So when you attach it to the waist of the skirt, you're going to be having 2 inches, half inches for the same allowance, okay? If that makes sense to you. So I'll go ahead and attach. Anything I do for this, I'll do for the other side as well. So I'm trying to attach it now, as you can see. Now this is actually beginner friendly because I'm taking my time to show you the process of joining. So I'm going to be attaching the lining as well. I'll flip it over like so. Then I'll stitch it. I'm actually going to use my pins to secure it. After that, you can see how seamless and beautiful the lining is. Look at it, okay? So now this is for the front. I'll go ahead and do for the back. After which I'm going to be attaching the zipper by the side, okay? The zipper is going to be by the side. Now I noticed I used the short zipper and it's not going to pass, okay? So I had to change the zipper later on to use a longer zipper. That's why you're seeing this new mark there. Okay, then I had to take the measurements from the pockets. The pocket is going to come down from the hip by 2 inches. You can use 3 inches as well, depending on your preference. Just to attach it and stitch round. How to sew a pocket is not, excuse me, how to sew a pocket is not much of a task, okay? I've done that in my previous video. So now I'm attaching it 1/2 inch by this side, right sides facing each other. Okay, I'll do same for the back as well. Back pocket, right sides facing each other. I'll just go and stitch down by 1/2 inch first. Okay, what I do for here, I'll replicate for the other side. So now I've taken the waist, the true waist line of my skirt. I've got a hair to shape. I've done the pockets as well, as you can see. This is for the other side, okay? Now this is basically it. This is basically it. Not so much of a task. So I'll just attach the zip and hem it. That's basically it.